If a person these days were to actually believe what you're reading in most magazines, what you're seeing on most television shows, all this stuff, I'm telling you, I get it. I understand why a whole bunch of people think that you gotta have super, super deep pockets in order to improve your habitat and improve your hunting. I get it. I get why so many people think that, because you're told it over and over. It's not the truth. Do not let that stop you from going out and improving your habitat. There are so dang many things that we can do that don't have to cost us hardly a cent. Every year I do mock scrape shows. There's a reason for it. Because they are very effective. They're very, very effective tools. You put that branch right there. You make it stick out like a turd in a punch bowl, and you put that branch at that buck's nose, and he is going to work it when it's peak scrape phase, period, end of story. You position that so that, let's see, my stand is on the edge of an opening. I can't cover the entire opening, but I can go ahead and cut down a tree, dig a hole out in that opening, and plant that tree or a treated post with a board on top that you drill some holes in, put some U-joints, and just go ahead and change out the branches every year. If I do that 20 yards out into that opening in front of my stand, odds aren't that horrible that Mr. Big that comes out on that other end is going to come over here and work that scrape during October, is it? Or November. Why? It stands out like a turd in a punch bowl, and he wants to advertise his dominance to that area. So I'm going to go work that mock scrape. And while he's working that mock scrape, happens to be 20 yards out into that opening from your stand, those licking branches are facing back towards you, that buck is working it. Oh, geez, you got all day to sit there and go like that, don't you? And what'd that cost you? Nothing. Doesn't cost, well, it would cost you the price of a saw. And if you didn't want to dig the hole with a stick, it would cost you the price of a post hole digger or a shovel. Most of us have a shovel already. Most of us have a saw, so it doesn't have to cost us anything. And now we can take that saw and we can go out into our timber and we can go ahead and hinge cut a bunch of trees in certain areas. And I know we are not hinge cutting the entire forest, nowhere near. I generally don't hinge cut anything over 5% of the timber on a property, and probably closer to 2%, 3%. Okay. But all you have to do is cut those trees. And now all that food that's way up there, boom, right at mouth level, just that quick. Again, you improved your habitat. Ooh, you went ahead and you created a living food plot, a living salad bar, per se. And you know what? Let's go ahead, that funnel that's 100 yards wide, and that's a great spot. Oh, geez, everything funnels down to that 100-yard wide spot, but I can't shoot 100 yards with my bow at a whitetail and feel comfortable. What I can do, though, is I can go ahead and take that saw again. Handsaw, chainsaw, either one. But you know what? You can use a cheap handsaw. And I'm going to go out in that woods. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to create a little blockading with that handsaw. Again, didn't cost us a darn cent. And, by going ahead and hinge cutting those trees to do that, I went ahead and increased the browse levels again. And, oh, geez, I sure wish this open area of the timber held some deer. Well, wouldn't it be a good idea to contact a logger and put some money in your pocket to take that park effect woods and make it into good whitetail habitat? There are all sorts of things that we can do that does not have to cost us a cent or so little. I'll tell you what, I'm sorry to be this blunt. Some people that say that I cannot do these things because I do not have enough money, I do not have enough time, I do not have enough ground. In some cases, that is legitimate. The overwhelming majority of the times, it's either people not understanding they can do all these things or making a darn excuse. You want to make a darn excuse? Feel free. You have every right in the world to do that. But stop coming on forums and stuff. Stop going on social media and telling everybody how ridiculous it is and how you can't. Yeah, they can and they are, while you're sitting there making excuses. Don't be that person. Be the one that goes out there and does the stuff that changes their world, that makes it what they want it to be. Because gosh darn it, if you are of sound mind and sound body and have some ground, whether it's 10 acres or 10,000 acres, that you have the ability to play on in this level, you can make a difference. Go out there and do it. Stop making excuses. Don't do it for me. Do it for yourself. Because you're the one who's going to benefit from it. I get it. I understand why so many believe that you don't go out and improve the habitat unless you got deep pockets and an unbelievable amount of acres. You gotta have money to. Of course, a lot of people are going to believe that because they're told it over and over and over and over and over again by the hunting industry to get you to buy stuff. You know what? There's all sorts of stuff you can do out there for free. If you control the ground, or if you can get your uncle to allow you on the ground that you're hunting, that you don't own, or the aunt, or the neighbor, or whoever it is. This right here is by far our most powerful weapon. By far. Be creative. You can come up with all sorts of stuff that you can do out there to rearrange that whitetail's world that makes the habitat better, that makes the deer healthier, and makes your hunting that much better.